Hi guys, thank you guys so much for coming to this channel. My name is Luciani, the Tarot Master. I wanted to unpack the idea of the devil in the tarot deck. A lot of misconceptions have been surrounding this energy, and I am here to really look to debunk the idea behind this energy, okay? If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe and share this if you find this very informative, and also share it with other tarot readers, other mediums, other empaths that also are in this line of energy healing and work related area. Okay, so let's get right into it. So I really wanted to start off with the whole scientific connotation behind this energy. Keep in mind that the devil energy represents Saturn energy, which is a planet of limitations. This is a planet of energies coming from restrictions, learning about integrity, morals, your ethics, things that are very responsible, holding accountability. This is a planet of karmic lessons, karma. If you ever hear someone say about their Saturn return, usually it wasn't the prettiest of transformations. However, these are the very best lessons that we have ever or will learn, so that we're able to kind of evolve and to mature. Because again, Saturn is a very maturing energy. Additionally, for this energy, this is also the highest orb in the solar system. So in other words, this is something that's very farthest from the earth. It also governs old age because it's the very slow moving. It moves very slow in the atmosphere. Or the solar system rather, excuse me. So it will dominate the phlegm in our bodies, which is the more vicious and slow moving of the body of fluids. It's also being the furthest from the sun's warmth. So again, with these lessons being cold because it's being farther away from the sun, a lot of mythology would kind of classify the Saturn as the opposite of sun. If you ever look at the cartoons or TV shows where you have the devil and God on one shoulder and the other, that's balancing your energies here. I mean, I'll get more into that in a little bit later in this video. But Saturn also governs your right ear, your spleen, your bladder, your bones. These are our body's fluids. I'm sorry, with the phlegm, going back to the phlegm, it's our body's fluids. And I always like to kind of have that as a segue of what Saturn and this devil energy actually encompass. Because when you connect it with the phlegm and go back to what essentially astrologically and also with astronomy based what that is. Now, why would I connect phlegm to the devil energy? All right, well, let's get into it. Everyone heard of the Einstein E equals MC squared, right? So with that energy being E and also having that equivalent mass as M, we want to think about this devil energy as a gravitational force here, okay, of other material, okay? That's why when you see this energy in the traditional deck, you have two people chained together, bound together. But again, with the representation of the energy, it could really take away with how powerful and authoritative this energy is and how high integrity this energy encompass. It's very, very key here. So that's why I thought it was a great idea to really debunk this, because I think a lot of people are going about this energy and how they're reading it very incorrectly. Okay, so going back to that gravitational force here. So we have 3 dimensions of space in which particles create pressure, which can move. And the stipulations that the gravitational force, that we are attractive, okay? That quantity that's equal to like density, right? Which is like the three times of a pressure, which it will be P. Whatever that case is. I'm not going to go too much in the mathematical concept there, but just really want to go through the radiation, the atoms, the molecules, the stars, the rocks, so on. The matter that is in between this, okay, is very, very important here. Understanding what is very close is very, very discovering that there's this energy, this matter that is pulling this together, okay? Very, very, very important to understand that this is pulling this together. This is the matter that pulls the whole energy in the entire spectrum, the universe, together, okay? So again, very important to really understand that, because we have a lot of astronomers that were very puzzled by the fact that observations of the motions of the stars and galaxies indicated that these objects are moving faster than they can be moved by the gravitational forces that would have been exerted by the luminous material nearby. So when you're pulling that energy, when this energy of the devil is pulling that energy together, it's slowing that energy together so that it could be more regulated. If there wasn't Saturn energy, if that wasn't the material that's binded between two different things, such as molecules and particles, or as I mentioned before, any radiation or atoms and rocks and everything like that. If you didn't have that matter in between really governing that and really keeping that intact, I mean, you're going to have a state of what? Chaos. Okay, this is law and order energy. That's why and I'll go into the zodiac a little bit later too, but just to kind of let you know, Libra is exalting in Saturn. Okay, that's where they find more peace, more balancing without burdening the heaviness that this energy can display. Okay, so anyway, going back to the whole laws of gravitation or of logic, right? We also want to kind of keep that in mind, because that's a lot of logic information that you're receiving from this energy also. It's very authoritative. It knows what's best. Okay. Lastly, what I have to say about this too is really knowing, again, that whole idea of God and devil as a single entity, okay? We really want to express that in extremes here, just like the sun and Saturn. The sun governs, it gives it it gives it the universe its vitality, right? It's creating vital forces. Just like we can't live without the sun, I think it's very important to know that we cannot live without Jupiter, but we can't live without Saturn here. Okay, it's extreme opposites. This is the furthest from the sun. Okay, extreme opposites here. Now, additionally, and I'm talking about in a planetary concept. I'm not talking about astrologically yet, because that wouldn't be the case here. However, again, with that whole concept with darkness and light, you cannot live in the universe without Saturn's presence. It governs the matter that's in between spaces, unseen spaces, a gravitational pull that creates law, existence, order. Okay, so again, we can't take that energy really to its toxicity levels, because every energy, particularly in the tarot deck, has a level of what? Extreme opposites, duality, right? And again, this is very, very imperative to really kind of unpack this for me, because again, this is very, very key here. Because again, a lot of times when I'm like working with this energy, and I see other, readers working with this energy too, I just don't understand why it's only related to toxicity. And again, the level of toxicity that occurs in Saturn are, again, really great learning tools. Again, this energy is not an easy energy. It's an energy full of lessons. I mean, again, when I mentioned with the karmic lessons, especially, these are things that we have to embody and finding responsibility and really letting go of some things that we feel, again, materially bounded. The images, I believe, that are on these decks are really important too, because with the traditional deck, you just see the devil, okay? You just see the devil here. But then you look at these other two energies here, where I have the Yoruba deck and then I also have an African American deck. There were two different other energies here that we use too, more indigenous concepts here. I mean, if we could get in, I could get into that a little bit more in detail too. But just staying on topic here, I think it's very important to know that this is a form of divining with astrology, okay? It's very important to know that we're consulting superior forces that are embedded in various entities that make up the natural world, okay? So reading certain concepts or even knowing how does even astrology work, we have to understand that there's different forms of it, each developing at different times and places and varying degrees. If you want to go more into natural astrology, this is a study of the arrangement of the sky and how this all could be used to influence the occurrences of winds and storms. So there's some really, really great information tools that could really explain that particular type of concept. That I'll leave some links below that when I researched, it was really helpful for me to really connect the two energies here. Now, let's get into the whole concept of the devil here. Now, again, as I mentioned, the Saturn's exalted in Libra. It's the ruling planet is Capricorn. So it's very, very, important to know that with Capricorn energy, their polar opposite is Cancer energy. Cancer represents the moon in astrology, okay? This is about responsibility of the home versus our outward lives, our careers, our professional life, our recognitions, our achievements, our desires, what our social life could, not even social life, but work life could be. This is all about recognition, because this is 10th house energy in astrology. If we want to look at the houses, which again is the very top level of, of astrology in terms of that. See, I'm not an astrologist or astrologer, so I can't really get too much into that concept. My role here is with tarot, but I believe that is the very highest either concept on that placements or the houses rather. So it's called a midpoint or MC, and it really shows you what status that you can really look into. Now, looking at it from a planetary standpoint, Saturn, again, as I mentioned, is farthest orb, meaning that it's really farthest from the sun. It's literally the polar opposite of the sun. So, and considering if the sun is the center of the entire universe, right? So just taking those different points there. Again, with this energy, being a ruler of Capricorn, it's very interesting to see how this can go, because this is talking about restrictions in our lives that are often based in fear and suffering. Okay, what's holding us back? Is it a limited mindset that, we can't see past the previous version of ourselves? Okay, what we've experienced as normal. Is it a self-destructive habit that distracts you from aligning with your own purpose? Maybe this is even dysfunctional relationship dynamics based on lust, financial dependence, and also codependency. Okay, so that's very, very important to know that codependency can be the root of toxic behaviors. Henceforth, the chains. Okay, very, very important to know that whole concept, the chains here. Okay, this is talking about codependency. Okay, so it's very important to know that root. So because it will create disharmony. Okay, this is also addressing disharmony in our lives, any say addictions or even drama addictions, if you want to be more specific. But any patterns of emotional unavailability, any infidelity, betrayal, harmful behaviors that we have to really take a need for a deeper self-analysis. These are experiences that are created in a belief that we are not deserving of safe, harmonious connections and experiences that can bring out the very best in us and add more magic to our lives. So this whole concept is really about mastering yourself. Like you are a master with this double energy. This energy could be very masterful. Also, this energy could be displayed as a very sexual, magnetic attraction. The magnetic attraction that again creates this bond, but two spaces, the matter between two spaces, and just bond together so divinely. Okay, so when you see the images on these particular type of cards, and I don't have too many other cards, but I just wanted to give you the devil cards in three different decks to explain how this could really be the whole misconception behind it. Okay. Also, the last thing I wanted to say is this is all about discipline. Saturn's it has a lot of ideas on discipline. Okay. It is the governance of discipline. So discipline really creates freedom. So this is with this devil energy, this is what is trying to teach you, is letting you to know never to restrict the Saturn lessons, because it's not restricting you, it's really grooming you so that you could really go into the universe and shine without any limitations. Okay? That's extremely important to really know what this energy is. It really will groom you to be limitless. But it's again just submitting to the energy, letting it flow. And that's why I like how Libra is exalted in Saturn, because it's that going with the flow, balance, just naturally balanced energy, as opposed to Capricorn energy, which takes on the burden, heaviness of that energy. And it's really that heaviness, okay, that can really cause this bound in life, regardless if you're a Capricorn or not. I say Capricorn because that's the person, the zodiac, that will be most affected by this energy, depending on your planet placements. I'm talking about strictly for your sun, your ego. So I really do like how powerful this energy is, because it's very authoritative. I find that hanging out with people from the sun, hanging around with, say like Leos and your Capricorns, they're able to really bring out that energy out of you, or your polar opposite, Cancer. Okay, but I'm saying it from the planetary standpoint. So again, someone who could help you in the self-esteem arena, okay? Loving yourself, letting things flow, detaching, not attaching to the point where it's a toxic trait to your detriment. Really allowing yourself to know yourself so much so that you know how extremely magnetic you are. And by letting it flow, by letting life flow, right? Keep in mind, again, last time, Libra is exalted in this energy. So I'm not saying that all Libras are not heavy entities. I'm saying it from the perspective of planet placements that this energy of Libra could be very light, taking on the light-hearted body energy and really discarding what feels like a burden. Because that burdensome energy creates the toxicity from this energy, which creates a toxic trait. Okay? So that's very, very important to really kind of go over. I think the last thing I have to say is that this is a very healing energy. Physical healing like no other. When you go through something called a Saturn return, meaning that, I don't know, I think it's like every 28 years, I want to say. It's where your planet in your natal chart, say if you have Saturn in Sagittarius, you went through a transformation or a physical, deep-seated physical healing 2 years ago. It's now in the sign of Capricorn, its natural ruler. So with just the outside forces, things could be probably very heavy, very maybe on a spectrum, on the worldwide, on the macro end of things. People are going through physical healing and it's heavy. Could possibly since December of 2000 and I want to say 17. December, that's when it, I think that's, December 2017 is when the transit from Sagittarius into Capricorn, that was in Saturn, that transit. But the point is, things are probably heavy right now until 2020, December 2020, when it goes into an Aquarius. Things are very heavy. And just allowing you to detach from the heaviness in itself is such a way of a beautiful physical healing also with this energy. And it just submitting to it, just honoring how you're feeling. When things go, let them go. When things come back, let them come back. Just really not forcing it, because this is a controlling energy. Another toxic trait with Capricorn energy is that it can be very, very controlling. Okay, very controlling. Wanting life to come out how it wants it to come out, but there's no room. There's no room for spontaneity. There's no room for growth. There's no room for peace of mind, because it's the constantly feeling like you have to be an authority figure over your life. And that's why they say Capricorns age backwards. As they get older, they get younger, because the more they realize, the more they mature, the more that they realize, I don't have to be this serious. I don't have to take on the burdens of others. I don't have to even take myself too seriously. Everything is good, And as time progresses, that lighthearted energy, you age backwards. I love that. So it's a beautiful energy to work with, guys. And I just really I hope that this video really helps with the idea behind this devil energy. Because since we connect devil, if you ever been raised Christian or what have you, again, this devil energy is portrayed as this indignant, inhuman type of quality. And indignant, anyone can be indignant, whether it's the Saturn energy or not. You could be the sun in reverse in tarot and you're indignant. You could be the temperance in the reverse. You can be indignant. So again, keep very much so in mind that every energy could be very heavy. Okay. Every energy could be heavy. Okay, so this is, again, very important to know. Not one energy is over the other. So I think with the whole concept with the devil, the actual word devil is, even misplaced and misused. Okay, I think with the devil energy, and you could like look up the root, like the root word of devil on your own time, but in the concept of Christianity, devil was like, is very hot, right? Yeah, it's in, you're in hell, right? But again, Saturn energy is very cold, okay? Very, very, very cold. And to the point where you feel like you could be burned. So I'm not too sure that kind of connotation. But anyway, to the point I'm making is that just the actual term of devil is very, very inaccurate. Okay. Because the devil can mean many different things in many different cultures. And, going into like the Yoruba concept there, it's actually meant to be celebrated. And also with energies, I believe from this particular one, let me double check this one. Let me see here. Yeah, we have something called the Ananias of the Mocker, West Africa. So this energy is really used for spiritual practices. Okay, very, very, very important to really understand that. That's a part of a spiritual root that you have to do. This is also energy of power and intelligence. Again, this is all about physical perfection and anything that is created. Okay, this is really, really creation here. So this is also energy off of the Ifa tribe, or the Ifa culture, excuse me. So again, this is very important to unpack for me, because there's really no connection between good and, or no different, I would say, trying to like really understand that this is when you think of the devil, it's like you think of evil, the battle, whatever the case is. But this is the point where I'm looking to make that every energy that's unbalanced is going to be evil, period. Okay? Don't get caught up in the imagery, because this could really hinder someone's healing process when they're trying to assist or looking for help, and it's not really, the truth of this energy isn't really being coagulated, even in the littlest of concepts. And it kind of annoys me as a tarot reader too, because it has many, many personifications. But again, it has a lot to do with other areas in our life that could really be transformative and just absolute physical healing from the inside out. This is physical healing from the inside out. And just really going into that idea is very important, so that people are very aware of what that energy is. I think that's it. Hope I didn't go too much in detail for you guys. Oh, I hope I did. I hope you guys got something out of this. I really appreciate you guys coming and really kind of having this little freestyle dialogue. I didn't really have anything that I wrote. I just wanted to kind of freestyle that off my head, because I've been kind of researching this for a while, and it's just been very interesting, other things that I kind of found out about this. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.